Fucking hell, this is like the 4th time I'm recording this video, it's better be good. Intro. Depending on the lens that you're using, you're going to have to tweak the settings, change a few things here and there. If you're looking for the best autofocus all around, whatever you're doing, and you don't want to change the settings, I suggest that you switch to Sony or Canon, for that matter. But if you already have a Fuji and you don't know how to get the best autofocus settings, I got your back. It all comes to the settings that you're using, the tracking sensitivity and the autofocus speed. Tracking sensitivity basically is the time that the camera will take to focus on new subjects coming into frame, or to keep focusing on a subject that is already in the frame without focusing on new obstacles, let's say. So basically, if you have a person that's running and it goes behind a tree, and if you don't want the camera to focus on the tree but keep focusing on the person, you're going to have to use certain settings. Or if you're doing a product review and if you want the camera to quickly switch on the product, then you're going to have to use other focusing settings. And then there's the autofocus speed. That is pretty self-explanatory. Once the camera has found the object that you're trying to focus, or the face that you're trying to focus on, that is the speed with which the focusing motors will move in order to focus on the subject. In this case, it's easier done than said, so I'm gonna show you what it means. Right now, tracking sensitivity is set to 0 and autofocus speed is set to 0. So the tracking sensitivity goes from 0 to 4, 0 being very, very fast, very sensitive to new subjects, and 4 being the slowest. Basically, I think their whole point is that 0, it means super fast, it doesn't take long, and 4 it means it's going to take longer, because in my head in the beginning was like it should be the other way around. I don't know. The autofocus speed goes from -5 +5. 0 is right there in the middle. Right, now we're set on tracking sensitivity 0 and AF speed 0, which it basically means that as soon as oh my god. Which means that as soon as a new subject gets into frame, the camera should recognize it, or if I am going out of frame, it should focus on something in the background. So let's try this. See, oh, ooh. If I do like faster, I cannot really see that on the monitor, but you see, if I'm doing like this, or if I'm doing this, it's pretty fast. It recognizes the fact that there's something new in the frame and focuses, but then comes back. So I think this is a setting very good for products, like, see my new water bottle, it will save the world, and then I'm going back on my face and it focuses. But it's not that good when you are, moving a little bit. Let's say I didn't see if it focused on something in the background, but if I do like this, it will focus immediately on the background. You could go ahead and change the focus speed to, something like -2, -3, -5, but that wouldn't change that much. It would still happen, like it would still focus on something else. That's what happens at 0. Basically is the shortest amount of time that the camera takes to focus on new subject. It picks up on something else really fast. Tracking sensitivity, we're going to the other extreme. Okay, so now tracking sensitivity is set to 4, AF speed is still 0. We are taking it to the other extreme. Now, if I do this, okay, I don't know what the fuck happened. But in theory, if I do this, it shouldn't focus on the new subject, which is my hand. It doesn't, it picks a little bit up, but I think it's a little bit slower. So if I do this, okay, it fucking picked up, I don't know. This thing is killing me. It's the fucking 5th time I'm recording this video. So, more or less. Okay, so now the tracking sensitivity is set to 4, so it's the slowest, but it still picks up on new subjects. How do we deal with that? By changing the AF speed. Let's go to AF speed -5 and see what happens. Right, so now the autofocus should be really slow, and it shouldn't pick up on new subjects like this. It's still fucking... It feels like this autofocus is way too good. What I want it to do really is to keep focus on me and not the new subject. So if I do this, okay, but if it's a second like this, keeps focusing on my face with this is the result that I wanted. But if I go slightly slower, okay, if I go even slower, right, and if I go like slow as fuck, okay, I don't know what the fuck just happened, but now it seems like it's working. But if it's something like this, it won't, it's actually focusing. Yep. No, you did not see that. Now what happens when you move the tracking sensitivity right in the middle, round 2? It should be, you know, more or less balanced. Like if I do this, it shouldn't pick up on my face. Let me check that in the monitor. So if I do this, it didn't really change. If I do it slowly, it changed a little bit. I think the AF speed -5 it might be a little bit too slow. Let's see if I do it like this. Okay. Yeah, you see, for YouTube and talking heads, I think you'd like something more snappy. I think you'd like something smooth, but not too slow. Let's try setting it to the extreme +5. We've said that the tracking sensitivity set to 2 is like more or less the best for the situations like this, like when I'm talking and showing maybe a product or my hand to the camera and, you know, something like that. Now we're playing with the AF speed and now we are at +5. That means that the autofocus should be blazing fast. Let's try it. Oh fuck. You see, it is snappy, but the effect that it gives, it's not pleasing to the eye. I think if you're like reviewing products, could work. Like boom, back to my face. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. No cinematic. You can see that goes really fast into it. Now let's slow it down. Let's go to 3 and see what happens. 3. Now it should be slightly slower. It still kept with me? That's good. Let's see. You see, it's already smoother. At least that's what I'm seeing on the monitor that I'm looking at right now. It's a little bit more pleasing to the eye. Now we're going to 0 and then to my favorite. Now we are set to AF speed 0 and tracking sensitivity 2. Basically, this is more or less the most balanced setting that you can have for the 18-55 in the X-T3. It should be rather smooth. Maybe it's a little bit, it's still too fast for my taste, but it is pretty smooth. I'm turning around. What do you think? Is it smooth enough? Would you be satisfied with this kind of results? Let me know in the comments. If I'm coming from back to... Oh, it keeps me in focus pretty damn well. And now we are going to slow it down a little bit more just to get that creamy, buttery, cinematic look. These are my most favorite settings for the X-T3 paired with the 18-55. -2 AF speed or -3, depends on how I'm feeling that day. Tracking sensitivity +2. This is, you know, it's somewhat balanced. So if I'm doing this, it's pretty smooth. It keeps you in focus from way behind to the back. I mean, it gives that, you know, a little bit of blurriness in the autofocus when you come forward. See? Because it doesn't really stick to your face. It gives that creaminess. If you don't like that, just go to autofocus speed set to 0 or 1 or something like that. I really love these settings. Alright, we've reached the end of the video. What I want you to learn from this video is to better control your camera and know your camera better, and to know the fact that depending on the lens that you're using, you're going to have to use different settings, because Fujifilm lenses don't all behave the same. They're mostly built for taking pictures, not for shooting video. But with the right settings, you can get like not 100% accuracy, but around 90 to 95, something like that, at least from my experience so far. I'm not an expert, I'm just trying to figure out things, guys, just like you. If you are into this kind of experiments, let me know what your settings are. Let me know if you try these settings and how you find them, if they work for you or not. Do you want me to make a similar video on the 35mm f2.0? If yes, let me know in the comments. I was thinking about making one, I don't know. That's been it, guys. You'll see me in the next video. Bye.